What it do? What it do? It is your boy Andrew Schultz, aka Mr. Goody Two Shoes, and who am I with as always? Joseph Huggins, aka Old Man Huggy. Talk shit or get off the pond. Episode 119. Bird. Bird is the word. Welcome, motherfuckers.
What's up, man? How are you?
What's going on?
Oh, tired.
Oh,
Ready,
bro, come on.
Ready for the holidays to be over.
How are you gonna say tired when the audience is here for you to pump?
No, I mean I'm pumped. I'm ready. I'm saying physically. I'm mentally. I'm all here. My old bones are just creaking like a ship.
Because of all the work.
Yeah, just running the fuck around, man. That's all I ever end up doing in the holidays is running around in fucking circles. So it's all good. But
How was your Christmas?
It was good. It was chill. Nothing too crazy. And of course, Big Eagles win, but which is ugly as fuck. But no, it was good. I mean, I'm got some rest. It's just for work and for me right now, it's like busiest time of year. So this is like go time, if that makes sense, where it's just crazy every day. There's not much I can really do. So that runs until like for like another 2 weeks of it. So we just guys gotta get over the hump, and then your boy going to Vegas. Let's go. Hitting
the crap table. Were you hitting everybody with the Merry Christmas, or were you going Happy Holidays?
See, and this is hilarious. So I will say, like, it used to be Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. You used to say both. I remember when people used to say both, and it wasn't a big deal. But I'll be like, hey, y'all have a great Christmas and have a good holidays. Keep it, like, super simple. Kind of cover both my bases. And there are people that are like, it's Christmas. I'm like, all right, man. Sorry, dude. Like, chill the fuck out. I've had some people, like, get on to me. Not happy at all. Oh, no. What have I done?
Well, guess what? This is where, our homies on the left, the squad, and not that they came up with this, but where you go too far. This is Latinx, man. This is a Latinx, where has anybody ever come up to you and said,
I'm Latinx?
It's Happy Holidays, and got mad at you for saying Merry Christmas?
No, and we talked about this a little bit last episode.
Yeah,
I've never had that, but
so why the fuck did we change it? Like, we changed it to accommodate people that don't celebrate Christmas because they might get offended about Merry Christmas. Yet nobody ever got offended by that. A lot of people get offended by the Happy Holidays, the one that we came up with to like appease other people, and all we did was just create like drama on that. I'm a big Merry Christmas guy, and like when I was on like in sales, and handling my customers, I was never going Happy Holidays. It was Merry motherfucking Christmas.
You were saying that last episode. Yeah. See, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, I don't even really enjoy the holidays that much to begin with. So I'm just like, whatever. Like, right. if I could navigate the day without having you say either to me, and I have to say either to you, that's great. What do I always say? I'm from November 1st till January 1st. I'm just like, all right, come on. How much longer on this shit? Like, it's just too much.
All right.
But I mean, I've had people. The people that are pro Merry Christmas are hostile as fuck about being pro Merry Christmas.
Well, yeah, because I mean, the thing is, and it's
so it's interesting. So what you're saying
there's a war on Christmas, bro. There's a war on Christmas, and you're acting like there's not.
No, there's not a war on fucking Christmas.
Like you thought that Afghanistan was the longest war in America. Nope, war on Christmas. Yeah, it's longer than the Korean War.
You can't even,
war, still kind of technically.
You can't even say winter break in our hometown anymore. It has to be Christmas. That's what. So it's
that's because
there's a war. You're drawing
there's
a line,
war
line in the sand.
In wartime, when there's martial law around, it's like
hostages are game.
We added under God into our Pledge of Allegiance in the 50s because the soulless, godless communists we were in a Cold War with, and we wanted to let them know we
See,
got God on our side.
I was a
And
dick when I was in like when I was a little kid. I was a way more of an asshole than I am now. And I remember a couple times just refusing to say the pledge just because it'd make my teacher like spaz the fuck out and be like, "You can't do that." And I'm like, "Yeah, you can't make me do the pledge. Like, I don't want to do it," because I just was just like trying to be defiant, and it was like a whole meltdown in the office. You got to
so
do this, but this is this is early '90s, so they can be like, "All right, take that kid behind the dumpster, slap him around a little bit."
yeah, well, okay, so like this is weird about the Pledge of Allegiance. So like this happens from time to time where there's terms that I like don't like actually like think about until later in life and I'm like, "Oh." So like Pledge of Allegiance, that was the first time I've ever heard the word pledge or allegiance, right? So I just always associated Pledge of Allegiance to the name of that thing, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like kind of recently where I'm like, wait a second, everybody in America, like every kid in America has to pledge their allegiance to this country every morning. Like, isn't that some shit that we would like make fun of like Nazis for doing or something?
Well,
Or
that's like shit that they, yeah,
that's like,
that's
like some cult type shit. And
well, okay, and that's where some people say ancient astronaut theorists believe that it's that yeah, there is a lot of symbolism and pledging and oaths and stuff that took place like in peak fascism, Nazi Germany, 100%. I mean, there's like the Hitler Youth and all these like
right,
groups of kids. They used to do this thing where they would have, I can't remember what it's called, but it was like a boarding house for single moms. And it would just be for single moms. And they'd track down these women who were single moms, blonde hair, blue eyed, find out who the fathers of these kids were. And they'd put them up in these big ass boarding houses and like raise their kids and raise their kids as like little SS officers. So the Nazi state would adopt these whole adults, take them and put them up in these big ass like
no, I know, I saw that because I was
compounds.
watching
But they were treated
the
well. But if it wasn't what a child that they wanted, then you weren't allowed in. So
right.
it was like super crazy. I can't remember what it was called. I
Well, I
watched it.
saw like on that Netflix where they like the World War II and they like redid it, so it's like all in color and stuff. Where they invaded Poland and then they were just taking out like the blonde hair, blue eyed kids, like And guess what? Guess what, y'all? History repeats itself. Russia has kidnapped 20,000 Ukrainian children, and are like now they're all in like schools where the schools like yeah, talking about Pledge of Allegiance. Like they're dressed up like Russians and like singing Russian songs and shit. Like I mean that's literally like verbatim in the definition of genocide and war crime is the deportation of children from one country to another.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's and the people that are of age to fight are like, fuck this. Or at least like a good chunk of their population isn't necessarily pro the war, or there's people who don't really wanting to fight. It's all hodgepodge together.
Well, I know, but they're importing kids so that
No, I know.
they have like reinforcements.
So they have to like try to brainwash these kids and get them on the wagon because they
They're
can't get.
taking the enemy off of the battlefield and then making them their own soldiers. Like that's what they're doing to
Well,
replace like the okay, but regardless of like I don't know how we got there, but
and then who was it? Ukraine blew up a Russian warship today.
yeah, shout out.
Like blew it the fuck up.
That's
Blew
right.
that shit up.
Yeah, they already made the Black Fleet of Russia no longer viable. So like they can't even hang out like in the where they were like hanging out because uh they know they cannot protect themselves. Like they're just sitting ducks, so they actually like had to move all their ships out of the Black Fleet out of there, and so that opened up the Black Sea like corridor, so where they could be ship and ship because Russia tried to put up like a blockade, like a bunch of asswipes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then now this ship's like in Crimea, so it's like basically none of your shit's safe, buddy.
And then it's like Russia has not updated the status of the ship. It's like, yeah, I saw the video. That whole gone is
Oh yeah,
destroyed. I think they said it was a drone strike. And that one, Ukraine was like, oh, that was us. They like raised their hand pretty quickly. We're like,
yeah.
here. They're like, oh shit, that's pretty
because
wild.
because they need to show like some successes on the battlefield. so they can get some funding because it's such a fucked up situation. Like the Republicans are basically playing politics. Or I actually think, and this is just conspiracy Andy talking, so allegedly on all this, but I actually think that Russia has been really successful in having assets in the Republican Party, both like that are elected and that are like advising these people. So I think
Like Mike
that
Lindell. Do you think Mike Lindell's a Russian asset?
he's like a what they call like a useful idiot. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, like they don't. He doesn't know if he's a Russian asset or not. You know, he would never know.
Yeah.
But like, no, I mean, I just like it. These Republicans holding up the funding for Ukraine. It's like I don't know, and like a lot of these guys like have visited Russia and stuff like that. So that, I'm just throwing that out there. So there's that going on. So, but really, there is a Republicans, old school Republicans that see like that this is like essential for us to win this fight, like the West,
Yeah.
and but they are Republicans, and so but their thing is it's like, well, why are we throwing money, out there like when the counteroffensive is kind of stalled out, and it's like, well, they need the goddamn money to get the weapons so they can improve, but basically they're like, well, if they're like winning, then we can keep funding it. Right now it's the winter time, and it's like nobody's really like making any moves on the front lines. So this is a way for them to like get attacks, get the morale up, get it on the news, get the Europeans. The
Yeah.
Europeans are trying to get him money too, but fucking Viktor Orban over in Hungary is like holding it up because he's Russia's stooge, and he's in the EU. So
He's like, whoa.
exactly.
He spoke and what was it, in Frisco, Texas? He spoke.
That's right. Yeah, and then Tucker Carlson goes out there every year to pay homage to him.
Give him a beach.
Like, how did we even get to Ukraine from what we were saying? Like,
I think we just, we jump. That's what we do. It's good.
I know, but I felt like we left somewhere like off. But anyways, all right.
Well, we talked about the Russian ship getting blown up.
I know, but that was like well down the tangent.
True. That's not bad, though.
No, I'm not saying it is, buddy. All right. As we do, y'all, we start with therapy questions. Therapy question number 1, Joseph. When you think of yourself, do you imagine that you are your body or that you're in your body?
Probably in my body.
So, okay.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, but like, I guess I'm like self-aware enough to know that like my body is like a vehicle. It's like a biomechanical suit for my brain. So it's like you're not, it's like.
So then who is the.
It's like your brain is controlling.
Who are you if you're not?
Yeah, like your brain is controlling this like biomechanical.
Your brain is your body.
Well, yeah, well, no, your brain is the pilot of this biomechanical suit that we walk around in day to day.
Well, see, like the way that I've said it before, it's like your brain is just like neurons just firing constantly, and so like I always say like you are not your thoughts, your thoughts are just boom boom shit going off in your brain constantly. You're the one observing your thoughts, so in that sense, you're not really your brain.
Well, but that's your brain observing itself, because for you to observe your thoughts, you have to use your brain in the first place. So if you're going to imagine something or visualize something, you purposefully using. Bro,
how can mirrors?
It's like the cockpit. It's like the cockpit of a biomechanical suit, and your spirit is driving this mech suit that's all made of water, and that's it.
Okay, so I think we might have talked about this before, but real quick. So is it a body transplant or a brain transplant?
It'd be a body transplant, because the brain would house.
The brain is the constant.
Yeah, is the constant. So the brain would be like that person's personality. If it was even remotely close to what it was like, you'd be putting that brain in a new body. It's like it's like giving it a new biomechanical suit.
Right.
So I don't think that you can't do that, but
so like
it would not be the same person.
So if somebody's like, yo, I have to get a brain transplant, that's the other person actually just taking their body.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, because
No, I agree with that.
yeah, like, and you wouldn't sign up. You don't sign up to be. You sign up to get your brain put in something else. I wouldn't want someone
Right.
else's brain in my body. It would not, unless it was like, okay, we're gonna keep this much of your regular brain, and we're gonna cut out a little bit of
No.
it. See,
What?
so then that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, otherwise you're gonna lose everything that
Right.
makes you who you are.
So whoever has 51% of the brain matter
Yeah, that's it. That's
is the I am is the no. See, that's how you fuck up somebody's like spiritual like your conscious, like what is your conscious, if we got a third and a third of three people's brains. Oh buddy.
What if it was just 50-50? You got someone
In a
who's
fourth person's body.
extremely intelligent right side and extremely intelligent left side, and combine
Okay,
it,
but I'm just saying,
make a super brain.
okay, but what is that human, whose consciousness is that?
That would be a new consciousness. It might not even have that, that's why it doesn't work.
That would rip the flat circle of time right there.
Well, and that'd be like some Frankenstein shit. Because if you were to create life as we see it or how we view it, you'd also have to create consciousness for something, for someone. You'd have to create.
I mean, I guess that is what life is two people putting shit together to make like a baby.
Well, yeah,
So you
but
put your two brains together
what I'm saying in that, yeah, well,
to
in
make
that
a fucking freak.
in that sense, yeah, but I mean, like, for us to artificially do that, I don't, how do you artificially, that's like AI, so you make some AI brain and put it in that's the whole spooky thing about AIs, because to create consciousness we'd have to do it on some sort of technological level, some sort of like,
To create consciousness, we need to do it on some technology.
no, but right, you couldn't,
No, I agree. I just
so like, unless we can figure out some way to like summon souls and like put souls and shit on some
what is a
science,
soul,
some
though?
Scientology Thetan shit, and we're like catching Thetans that are coming out of a volcano and putting them in cavemen.
Do you think AI is going to show us what a soul actually is, or prove that their soul doesn't exist, or just not
I
weigh in?
think that for AI, it would be, if it were just gonna reach, if it was going to reach that point to where it could explain, it would have to have it itself. So that's what I'm saying, is like, it could never fully understand unless it had a soul itself.
You're saying that Ray Charles can't explain color? Well, no, because I think he could see it at one point. But you
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
like somebody who's born blind explaining
Yeah, like
colors.
Helen Keller's deaf ass.
Damn. But yeah,
Her deaf dumb ass.
damn. Well, but yes, Helen Keller would be an example of someone. So, having her explain sounds, or not sounds, or sounds, but
Yeah, she'd be
especially
like,
colors. Stop, that's terrible. But when it comes to
You know,
colors,
Helen Keller's
yes, she'd have no frame of
she
reference.
flew a plane.
She'd have no frame of reference, just like an AI computer wouldn't have any frame of reference on what it's like to be human. It would only be knowing what it studies and what it learns. It would only be getting like information, somebody trying to explain it to someone. So it's like, we can't even explain our own consciousness, so how can we expect AI to?
I actually think that AI, given the right data, and I think that we'll just get there, that it will be able to put together all sorts of data it would to explain to us like life after death, what happens. It'll be like, oh, it's obvious, like based upon all this information. It's just like the logical mathematical conclusion, and it explains it to us, or like what happened before. I think it could get there. I think if it had enough data about you, it could tell you when you're gonna die.
Well, that's not good.
I know.
I don't want some big death clock supercomputer. That sounds awful.
It's just gonna put like all these like data points together, like trillions and trillions of them, and then it's just gonna be based upon this all of that, everything that I've calculated. This is 99% likely of when you're gonna die, and it's taking information from everything everywhere in the world.
No, but it couldn't It couldn't make a decision up to 99% accuracy, because unlike the AI, you'd still have the free will to do what you would want to do.
Do you have that? Then that's what it comes down to. Do you actually have free will? Does it actually exist?
Well, if it tells you that you're going to die because you're, in 30 years because you're power smoking cigarettes, and then you quit smoking cigarettes, and you take care of yourself and you become
Well,
super health conscious.
the AI would know that you were going to quit smoking cigarettes, so it wouldn't have predicted that.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't know that.
Yeah, yeah, because that's always right.
So you're saying that AI is going to be able to tell the future?
If I'm saying it would be able to if it was given
It would be able to give you most probable outcomes, but it wouldn't necessarily be able to come up with it with 99% accuracy.
No, I think it will get there.
I don't.
If it has enough information that fed into it. Yeah, I think it has the ability to do that. It just whether or not it has all of the information it would need to do that.
Well, I mean, but that's where the AI would be the constant, but humans would be the craziest
But you have to
uncontrollable variable in that experiment would be like humans would be doing whatever the fuck they wanted, so it wouldn't like it couldn't dictate what those people did day to day. It could try. So I'm saying it come up with most probable outcome. It'd be like based off of your current trajectory and the way you're living your life now, you shouldn't live past da da da. And this
no, it's not just based on you; it's based on everybody.
So it would take other people's lifespans into factor to determine yours.
The weather, where you live, everything. It could. I'm saying that it could. You know, if it had all of that information.
Yeah, but I think that's fine. But I think that number would change. It wouldn't give you something. Hey, this is when this is going to happen 20 years from now, and it's not going to change. I think you could increase that number and you could decrease that number, and it wouldn't be able to take into account.
Or maybe it could hit you with like 4 outcomes that equal a 90+ percentile.
Yeah, but even then, it wouldn't be able to predict what you were going to do and the decisions you're going to make because you have your own free will and decision making.
No, you don't. You're going to do what you're going to do right now based upon every fucking thing that has happened previous in your life and everything that has happened outside of you in the world. Because of the time and place you are in, and because of everything, every thought, every second, every moment leading up to this, is going to lead you to do the very next thing, whether it's change your mind or not change your mind. And so it's just basically dominoes, like where you put the domino and you hit one, and it's just a second after second of you're on the path you're already on, man. It's already set. You think you got free will, but you were already going to do that thing that you thought that you changed or that you pivoted. You were always going to pivot. Even your pivots are planned.
I don't know about that.
That's a theory.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think that all of my pivots are planned. That's lame. That would be lame. So then there'd be like no point.
That's what people say.
Who says that? Ancient astronaut theorists?
I guess the point is just enjoy the ride. I mean, you think you're in charge, so you could just.
Yeah, but that's a great like zero accountability way to look at life.
I know, and that is like
everything that happens, everything that I say and do and have done and will do has all been predetermined. So fuck it, I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, they actually like in the group therapies sessions that I was doing. Over the summer, they would have us take these like tests, and a lot of them were based on that. Or it was like 4 different categories, but one of them was, do you think life that you get to determine what happens to you in life, or do you think like things just happen to you? And they weren't saying one's good or bad, but I don't know. I think it's better to take charge of your life,
Oh yeah, no, definitely. But I think there's multiple. I think that you come to multiple forks in a road every single day, and choices and decisions you can make, and the path that you choose or take, can be determined from those things long term. So I think there's long-term impact in decisions we make that we don't realize it till it's way after the fact that decision has had that much impact in your life. Hopefully you reflect on it in a positive way. But that's not true for all decisions we make, which is fine. But I just don't think that everything's predetermined. I have no say in what I do. I mean, that just sounds goofy. That sounds like I said, no accountability. That's just like, fuck it. It is what it is. That's like some YOLO shit. You only live once.
No, I mean it more like it's just more like
Because then you have
I-
no control. Like, do you see what I'm saying though?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, I know, but there's people who think that, like,
oh, I'm sure.
but also you just because you have no control doesn't mean like that you change the way that you live.
Well, no, but
But
that's
unless you're like, fuck it, I'm not gonna vote, fuck it, I'm not gonna ask for a raise, fuck it, like that's like different, but
well, I think there's more people that are like that. That's like
but
reaching a level of comfortability or plateauing. So I mean, you should always be.
never taking credit for good things that happen to you is a problem, but also but outside must be nice, like being like when bad things happen, be like, that's not my fucking fault.
Yeah, I mean, I always say good things have side effects, bad things have benefits. So there's always that's how I look at stuff. When there's good
Yep.
things going on, it's like what, like there's going to be some negative something that's going to come from this. It's like, oh well, now I have to drive farther for a new job, or but I'm making more, but now I got to wake up earlier, and it's like you're always going to have to change stuff. And then if there's bad things or something bad happens, I try to look at it from the perspective of like, all right, well, what are the positives that can come out of this negative, and what can I gain from having this setback? What's my next move to go even farther than where I was before? And that way, I'm never too high on my highs because I'm always looking for pitfalls, and I'm never low on my lows. I'm always just looking up and trying to climb my way up, right? So I always try to have like the opposite when people overly celebrate their dubs, and then it's like life's gonna happen, man. Anticipation and preparation are like 99% of being a functioning adult. It's just like under at some point in life you need to realize anything can happen at any given moment, and you should just try to be as ready for it as possible and not get caught slipping.
Well, with like the positives where you're like you're looking for pitfalls, and like then there's uh a way to just, well, that's good, but like a way to give it just a little bit of a positive spin even more, like those are new problems.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
yeah,
so you call them new problems, and that's what you always should be striving for, is getting new problems,
yeah,
good problems. Go from like I can't sell out this arena to I don't have enough seats in the arena,
yeah.
that type of shit, which is I think what you're saying, but not like don't always like when you get a win be like, oh, what sucks here, but
No, no, but
but
I'm saying you don't want to
no,
get
in the darkness, like in darkness there is always light, and that's the way you have to find the light in that. I think is what you were saying.
yeah, yeah. You just gotta try to
Yeah,
look.
one of my counselors was like, be like, don't ever be like, why did this happen to me? Be like, why did this happen for me?
Yeah. I mean, or what I used to always say, there's always like, oh, light at the end of the tunnel. Like, oh, you're doing better. And I think it's like, no, like there really is no like light at the
Not
end of.
at the end of the tunnel. I'm saying like that there's some good even in like the
No,
bad.
no, well, that's what I'm saying. Well, I'm saying it's just another saying is where people be like, oh, well, like, times are tough. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And it's like, nah, man, like there is really no light. Like life is a tunnel. And you got to kind of like build some headlights so you can at least see like 10 or
The
15.
storm is coming always, and it's just a matter of surviving it and getting
Yeah,
through it.
are you and your ship ready? Do you have can you turn on some headlights so you can see in the tunnel and see what's coming? Because that makes the drive a lot easier. If you can't, then yeah, you're driving blind through a fucking tunnel. It's terrible. You're gonna destroy.
And also, is the deck crew ready to put the water toys in? And can you tell the chef mistakes overcooked? Thank you, because that's my boat. It's a yacht,
Okay,
Captain Sandy. That's right.
dude, I was obsessed with like all of those below deck shows for a while.
Dude, I might go be a yachty here in a little bit.
Really?
I want to be. I don't know if I'm too old for the show though. But some of those guys, I don't know. They could be like 45. But I think being a yachty, it's like they could be 27, and it looks like 45.
Well, why don't you just go? Why don't you just get a job on the yacht? Period. Why does it got to be on the show?
Because I'm a face made for television.
Ooh.
Come on, bro. That's what I need to do. Get on below deck, then and then parlay the fame into the podcast. All of a sudden people from the show are listening to the podcast. Bada bing,
Okay.
bada boom. Talk
Okay.
Shit Media, Old Man Huggie Productions.
Okay.
Hey,
Well, I support you. Good luck on.
I'm a Bravo Liberty.
That wouldn't be bad.
Therapy question number 2. Would you rather eat 10 pine cones or poop five?
Well, if I eat 10, I'm gonna poop at least 5 of them out.
No, 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 no.
As long as I just eat them and there's no poop afterwards. Okay. Probably probably try to eat 10. That would suck, but I'd try to get creative with it.
Yeah, I think so too, because I feel like serious long-term damage could happen to your rectum, colon, prostate, sphincter, perineum. That's right.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, yeah. Also, just quick public service: make sure to tan your perineum. Get the sun on your perineum at least 30 minutes a day.
Get out of here.
Or I think 3 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah, 30 minutes, you'll a burned asshole.
Well, you have to ease into it. Ease into it. My perineum looks like somebody working in a blood diamond mine. That's how dark it is.
That's so disgusting. That's terrible.
How tan that shit is, bro.
That's gross. I'm sure you're doing it out back. I'm sure the fam.
I got vitamin D poisoning.
I'm sure I'm got vitamin D poisoning in the ass. Okay, good to know.
I got melanoma on my perineum.
I'm sure your parents or your whole family loves that. Where's Andy? He's on the deck. He's out on the deck.
You know where he is. Ass up.
Yeah, like a curtain pulled on both sides of you.
No curtain.
Get out of my son. Don't come out on the deck when I'm sunbathing, Mom.
Yeah, and I've got a chart, because now that we just went through the first day of winter, every day gets a little bit lighter and lighter. So I actually use that little bit of lighter each day to ease in. That's how you can do it, people. So each day it's like 5 minutes more sunlight. So just go to your perineum sunning spot, same time each day, and there'll be just a little bit more sunlight until all of a sudden you're worked up until it's June 21st.
So you're a perineum powerhouse.
Summer solstice.
Winking at
your taint,
winking
your
at
taint
people
is
with
tan,
winking at people with it. That's how.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Instead of tan mom, you'll be tan tanked.
Dude, that's so weird to me. If I don't know what I'd do if I walked up on somebody, if I had like a roommate and they were just like sunbathing their asshole on the back deck, I'd be like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Would you?
And yeah, maybe. I mean,
you think it's ethical to just to
you gotta
somebody?
You gotta yeah, but you got no. You gotta let somebody know. If I'm
you can't wait.
If I'm, let's say we're roomies and I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna go on the back deck and smoke a bowl, and I don't know you're there, and you're just out on the back deck.
Why wouldn't you know I was there? I'm there every day.
Ankles.
Same time I just told you.
Ankles by. This is the first time I've learned of it, and I'll never go out there at this time again. But you gotta let me know. You gotta be like, look, dude, I sunbathe my asshole every time at this time of day. I go out on the deck.
This would happen once, right? This is a one-time thing. It's not like this would keep happening.
You're doing it every day. Well, it wouldn't anymore. I'd be scarred. So you should at least give me a heads up.
Right. Okay. So the first time I'll give you a heads up, but let's say you happen to catch me, in my healthy lifestyle. By the way, something that you should be doing.
Hey, out there with
I'm trying to set a good example.
Saltwater enema with your ass up.
I know that the black taint don't crack, even though it's right next to your ass crack.
Jesus.
All right. Therapy question number 3.
So California, sunbathing your asshole. It's the most California shit.
Not your asshole.
Oh, sorry.
And
then rub some Himalayan pink salt on it.
I don't know why you would do that.
I don't know. It just sounds. And then sage it.
Salt Bay. Would you rather be trapped in a cage with a tiger or a pool with a shark?
Those are both terrifying.
I'll go pool, shark. Sharks die from the chlorine. Boom.
No, this shark can swim. That's I see what you did there, but no. Let's say the shark is totally fine.
Okay, let's say the shark's totally fine. I'm still going with the shark. Like, I've never heard people being like, "Hey, you know, like when a tiger attacks you, you just punch it in the nose." Like, there is a tactic for humans to fight sharks. I don't know how well it works, but there is a well-known tactic. And for the jungle cat, uh, in a cage, no, you know what I'm saying? Like Joey Bag of Donuts should be in a cage with me, get his ass knocked out. But I think there's no way you can win that. But with the shark, I hit him in the nose, and we're good to go.
Yeah, it depends on the shark. Tiger would be terrifying. But I mean, there's this one like because I don't fuck with sharks like that. I mean, we've talked about I don't fuck with the ocean like that, and
Well, I mean, it's yeah,
I mean I fuck with the
kind of
ocean.
redundant. Like
I fuck with the ocean, but I'm they're like, hey, let's go swim with
you
some
like
sharks. I'm
you
like, no,
need
I'm
to
good.
swim to fuck with the ocean,
I
right?
can swim though. Come on, dude.
Uh,
Southridge Lake swim team.
I
Come on
don't
now.
know.
Come on, bro. You didn't know I could swim. That is might be the most racist thing I've ever heard. I didn't know you could swim. Good for you. My parents were white, dude. I had swim lessons. Come on, bro. They taught I can't float, but I can swim.
Oh, I just didn't. I mean, I didn't think that you. I don't know. I don't know. I just didn't know that lessons would do it.
Yeah, you know, kickboard. They teach you how to kick your legs and like. Hey,
Because if I figured it, you know, because every like that's how most people learn is lessons. So I just don't understand why black people don't.
well, there's
swim.
not
If
a
they
lot of
could
like.
if
Well, I mean, it depends on the area. Regardless of race in a low income area, I don't know if I'd want to be getting swim lessons at the community pool.
why? That's where Wendy Peppercorn is.
Because
Bro.
in South Lake, they're like, do you know the code? Do you actually live here? Because if you don't live here, you can't come to the pool.
Yeah,
In
if you come
hindsight,
back-
that
if you
happened to
come
me
back,
like
the
100
code is
times.
911.
That happened to me like 100 times. I was like, totally fucking live here. It's like thinking back. There's so many times where random moms are like, do you guys even live in the neighborhood? It's like, yes, we do, bitch. Like, we're here every day. We out here, bro. You trying to get these hands?
Pool's taken.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
You can swim here if you want.
Yeah, so I'm fighting a shark all damn day.
But no, Shark Week, there's a guy who was swimming, snorkeling, swam right into a shark's mouth. Shark just goes like, roll. And he didn't even see it. He didn't realize that he was inside the shark's mouth, that he was being eaten by a shark. Reached around, yanked, popped its eye out, and it let him go, and he survived.
How did he reach out? He reached out while he was in.
Because he was
inside of
like
the shark?
swimming. He was swimming, so he was like head first in the stomach, in its mouth, but his arms were free. So it was like he was thrashing and reached up and was trying to fight it and grabbed and pulled its eyeball out.
What the shark do?
Let his ass go, dude. He's blinded that boy, dude. He fucked that dude up.
I don't know if you pulled on my eyeball, I might like clench down on my teeth.
The sharks have some scary eyes too. They're just like dead black, like just like buttons, so like creepy buttons on like.
Well, you know what else is scary? A tiger's fucking eyes when you're in a cage, and it's just you and the tiger. Bro.
I'd be more comfy with the tiger in a cage than like in the wild because you wouldn't even see it. It would just like pop up. It'd be all like I'm striped and orange.
There's nowhere to go though, bro.
Yeah, maybe you could befriend it. You never know. Maybe you chill it out. You're like, hey, it's all
No,
good.
because like if you could scare the tiger, then if it's not in a cage, it would run away, you know. But if you're scaring it and you're trapped in a cage with it, it's just going to be trapped in a corner and.
Well, but there's got to be some sort of time limits. Let's say it's 10 minutes in a pool with a shark or 10 minutes in a cage with a tiger.
The shark don't want to see me 10 minutes in a pool, please. I'm like Mark Cuban in the Shark Tank.
Because if you're in a pool for 10 minutes and you can't tread water while you're trying to fight, you're going to get tired more fast. Either way, it's a death trap, dude. Either way, you're fucking dying. There's no way.
I gobbled up SpongeBob and I ate Nemo.
Unless it's like some nurse shark that's just like vibing at the bottom of the pool with its little fangs and it's just like, what's up? Unless it's a chill ass shark, it's going to fuck you up.
A dead shark is what it
It's
is.
going to fuck you up, dude. Like a hammerhead or something.
Well, we've been around for a couple million years. Get out of here, bro. Can't even breathe properly.
I was like, I can breathe. Just,
Oh, gills. I fucking gill up. That's another. See, like sharks are just like they're exposed. Like they got gills that you can fuck with. You can pull their eyes out apparently, their nose is vulnerable. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, but they're a solid chunk of like muscle and cartilage. They're just like solid cartilage, and they have the free range of motion in the ocean, so they can swim so fast, so unfathomably fast, faster than a human could run. A shark could swim up underneath you and just snag your ass. There's nothing you could do about it.
Yeah, but guess what? See, whereas like being able to scare the tiger and have it bounce outside of the cage, if you're outside of a cage, with the shark, your speed's useless. We're in a pool, and we're in the SeaWorld pool. So I know you've been
No,
being
it still
abused. I
has.
know you've been being abused for a little bit,
It's
and
still got
you're not on
more
top of your
skills.
game.
It's still got more skill in a pool than you do in a pool. That's to be
Right, but it's reduced its capabilities. It could only go so far.
Yeah, but that's like you're in its environment, and that's
Yeah,
like you're not
well,
supposed to be there.
we'll find out.
You're not supposed to like we're not. We ain't supposed to be in the ocean fighting sharks, dog.
No, we're in a pool.
Or in a pool fighting
That's
sharks.
human made. Whose arena is it now, bitch?
I bet you pools kill more people
The pool boys here.
than tigers in cages in a year.
I don't know, man.
Facts. You're like, damn, that's actually probably a really sad.
No.
It's probably a really sad statistic.
PETA, don't get on our ass. We don't advocate beating up sharks. Unless it's like what's it called?
Or locking tigers in cages.
Right. With ourselves in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Free Joe Exotic.
Dirty dancing.
Did you see Joe Exotic asked Joe Biden
Not
for
dirty
a pardon?
dancing. What?
Joe
Go
Biden.
ahead.
Joe Biden got asked for a pardon by the Tiger King, man. For
What'd he
Christmas.
say?
He was like, "Hey, get me out of here. I want to go home for Christmas."
What did Biden say?
I don't think he responded, which is kind of sad, But free our boy, free Joe Exotic.
Dude, he loves prison.
You think?
Of course.
I don't know. He had it pretty good on the outside, man.
But he also has it pretty good on the inside. And a lot of people are getting in on the inside of him and his perineum, if you know what I'm saying, in prison.
He teaches a sunbathing class.
Oh, dude. Yeah. That guy's like, yeah.
He's like,
Love him.
he's
Like,
like
all the dick you could ever find.
Mr. Miyagi of perineum tanning. Wax on, wax off.
Final therapy question. Therapy question number 4. Would it be ethical to have sex with your clone?
Probably not. But well, live your best life.
Would it be possible to reproduce with your clone with all of like the new science and technology and transitioning and all of that? Or is that still an impossibility?
I think that'd be an impossibility right now. It'd have to be like you'd have to create some sort of like genetic clone, and it would have to be a twin that would be like your clone twin.
It's not. It's not really.
Yeah, it wouldn't be like it couldn't be like, oh, this is like this.
Okay.
It's got a womb.
But just like how last episode I was saying, if they were growing human flesh in the lab, there would be a constituent of people that would eat it. If there were clones, there'd be a huge amount of people that would be hooking up with themselves.
Oh yeah, I think there's a lot of people that would be
A ton. Like,
doing some weird shit.
yeah. And I guess the rule should be no clones. But do we really trust China?
Every married couple would be like a foursome. They'd be doing foursomes.
Well, see, like the thing is like, because China would be like the one country that I would think would, kind of experiment. If there was going to be one, I'm not saying that they have or anything.
Yeah.
But like, I think that they would have the capability, like the United States, but then also maybe cross the lines a little bit. But then the one thing I was thinking about with the clones, it's like, well, they already have like 4 billion, 1.6 billion people. So why would they want to clone more people? Well, turns out India now is the most populated country on Earth. That happened this year. But also China is like already hit peak population. now they just went down like 200,000, which 200,000 in the sense of like over a billion is not a lot, but the fact that it went down was crazy. So China is now not growing, and they're not going to have like the youth to support their, like grow or aging population.
Oh yeah.
So they might have a need to bring in some
And
clones.
they lied about a bunch of their figures on how what their population was at recently. They've
Well,
gotten
yeah,
like pop.
they just stopped putting out data on youth unemployment, because right now it's like at over 25%.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's how a revolution starts, bro.
Would you bang your clone?
No, because I'm not like into dudes. Like I don't know who would be the bottom and who would be the top. You know,
Well, it would have to be. It would have. You would have to. I mean, yeah. I guess you'd have to figure that out.
we both not be into it.
You have to.
What if your clone was like super gay? It was like, come. It was like always pressuring you to like hook up.
That would be a lot.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I paid like 50 grand for this thing. That's all it wants to do is fuck all the time.
Fuck me.
All it wants to do is fuck me all the time.
I needed it to like, yeah.
So it's
like,
trying to get me drunk and fuck me. This clone sucks.
Oh man.
That would
I
be
know that-
that would be weird. That would be weird. That's like definitely like a Black Mirror episode where everybody's got a clone of themselves and they're like fucking it,
Yeah.
doing weird shit with it,
I
making
feel
their.
like, yeah, because the thing about how many narcissistic people are out there.
Oh there's a lot of people who'd be like, oh fuck yeah, look how
Yeah,
hot.
yeah.
And would your clone represent you in that moment and then age at the same rate as you, so it would look like you the whole rest of the time? Because then, if it did, when you're 50, it's 50, like it would age with you.
That's how I always think of clones, but like I know that's not really how it necessarily would work. It's not like, poof, here's like a replicate of you, it's like uh grown from cells or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that whole thing works. But you know who probably does? Xi Jinping, allegedly.
Allegedly. Some say he's a clone. Ancient astronaut theorists do believe that he might be a clone.
Nah.
You don't think?
He grew up on the countryside. His dad was a politician.
Well, Paul McCartney's a clone. Or it's fake Paul McCartney. Fall McCartney, as they call him. As the Beatles conspiracy theorists.
What would Paul McCartney say about that?
I don't know. Well, mine's more like a George Harrison. It's not so much not really a Paul McCartney, but more of a George Harrison. I'm not really sure. I think that Paul's dead. That's not a real Paul. Man, I gotta find that documentary. It's the George Harrison tapes. Where after he died, he's like, all these audio files were released of George Harrison talking about how Paul McCartney like died in a car accident, and then they did a look-alike contest, and they found the guy who won the look-alike contest for Paul McCartney, put him in the band, and then made him replace him, and that is the Paul McCartney we have now. That the real Paul McCartney died in a car accident, and he did get in a really, really shitty bad car accident and almost died. Like Paul McCartney did almost die driving this little white convertible sports car, crashed in the rain on like the countryside way back in the day, and he almost fucking died. That was a really big deal. People were geeking the fuck out. And then
So now I've seen it. Now I get it.
and
I
there
get it. No. You know who else got into a car accident and almost really died? Kanye. Kanye is the new Paul McCartney. The similarities, bro.
And then the whole thing is that then the MI5 and everyone else got involved because, oh man, if we tell everybody that Paul McCartney's dead, like these people are gonna freak the fuck out. Remember, and like the whole thing is, it sounds hyperbolic. People were goofy as fuck back then. So it was like, oh, all these kids are gonna jump off bridges because So they decided to just lie, and then implement this other person, and have him play. And he can play bass, do all the stuff. Looks a little bit different when the pictures. They're like, look at this one and look at that one.
Are you
And
fucking kidding me?
I'm
No.
dead. I'm dead ass serious. And then so
No.
if you play a bunch of these records backwards, some of their old records like the Sgt. Pepper album and stuff. If you play these songs backwards, they say stuff like "Paul's dead" backwards. I mean, they do it in the documentary. The documentary is wild.
Okay, what do you think would be more of a problem? Is telling everybody that Paul McCartney died in a car accident, or everybody finding out that Paul McCartney died in a car accident, and you guys try to cover it up for a couple years with some rando, and continue
Well, at
on
this point, it's too
to
far
make them
gone.
make the bag to make the bag.
At this
Like,
point,
oh, we
at this
wanted
point,
to
it's
save
too
the
far.
children. We want to save the children.
Oh, to just save the children. We were trying to protect the teens. Everyone loves Paul, and Paul's dead. How are we going to tell them? John's wondering what we're going to do.
And the Beatles were like a sensation for like 6 years, dude. Like that's how long they were together, right? So you think like that they were so like ingrained that quickly into the like MI6 is involved, like in this cover up for like some like 20-year-old druggie,
It was
like
his
dude on
name
LSD.
Maxwell. Maxwell with M15 came by and he said that we got to do it. We don't have a choice. We didn't want to, but what are we gonna do? Paul's dead.
Why didn't they do it for Lennon then?
Because at that point it was all like that homie
Oh,
got
he was in
shot.
America.
He
He
got
was in
he
America.
got he got capped in
Yeah.
like the middle of New York by like
Yeah,
some
yeah.
crazy fuck like signing autographs. It was like everybody saw that, right?
Right.
Everybody saw that. But no, that's like, the whole Paul McCartney's, I don't know even know how we got on this tangent. Oh, the clone. But that's the whole, and then they all branched off, and then Ringo's the conductor on Thomas the Train. Also, after George Carlin left, there's just all sorts of goofy shit that went on. But yeah, that's the theory of Paul being dead, and there's all these different things where they're walking across Abbey Road, and it's like, oh, Paul's not wearing shoes because he's barefoot because he's dead. John's wearing white. Have you never seen this? And it's like John's wearing white. John's wearing white because he's like Jesus. Somebody else is the preacher or the pallbearer, and then somebody's the gravedigger. George Harrison's the gravedigger, and then Paul McCartney's dead, and that's why he's barefoot. Oh yeah, dude. There's a whole thing. This was a documentary that was like on fucking Netflix.
Why don't you be like a normal band like the Beach Boys and hang out with Charles Manson out in California? That's what real musicians do.
Well, what happened to their first? What's their? They had a lead singer or a singer, Brian Wilson, who's like, just like,
What about him?
isn't he all just like fucked up and on drugs all the time now?
He was on a lot of drugs, but he has like he's like bipolar. Yeah.
Okay, so
Fucking genius.
everything he does is predetermined. So never mind.
That is true.
But
And it was predetermined that the Beach
there
Boys were
was
better than
clones.
the Beatles.
There was clones. Oh, John Slope B. I love that song by the Beach Boys. One of my favorite Beach Boys song, which is like a random weird song, but it's good. Yeah, if there was clones, people would do some weird fucking shit with it. People would be like, swingers would be all about it. That'd be a huge swingers thing. They'd just sit around and watch their clones fuck each other and be like, yeah, that's what it would be like if I
like think about the rich people like in Django Unchained Django Unchained.
Yeah.
Like the shit that like Leo and like DiCaprio's doing like in like the living room,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
think about like with clones, like just all sorts of just like depraved shit.
Oh yeah, it'd be the most dystopian shit of all time. It'd be fucking weird, dude.
It'd be like Elon and Mark Zuckerberg like having their clones fight each other in a cage match for like money to the death.
See, but that would be cool because that'd be a whole nother like side of sports where you, rather than boxing, you would coach up your clone to go. So there'd be like UFC for clones, where clones
But
fight.
clones are humans too, bro.
No, I'm not saying they'd
Clones' lives matter.
Wait, that's later. That's at least like 20 years into the clone fights, the clone gladiator battles. Then it's
Remember
is
bum
this
fights?
epic? Dude, bum fight's genius.
I was thinking about it the other day.
Genius. Did you see the episode where he's on Dr. Phil?
No, but real quick, I was trying to think, how the fuck did we ever get secure bum fight footage? Was it like
You
at
could rent. Yeah, you
Blockbuster?
could rent it. You could rent that shit.
So somebody was going with their parents to
And
Blockbuster
renting bum fights. Our
and
parents were
yeah,
so disconnected. They're like, whatever you want.
not I mean not mine. I mean my dad was like cool about me like getting like R-rated movies and stuff, but
Yeah, my,
uh,
my dad would have let me get bum fights just because my dad was like, yeah, sure, whatever. He's like, does your mom hate it? Yeah, we'll get it. Like
of course he does.
just spite with being spiteful with his
But
money.
just trying to explain that to your parent. It's homeless people fist fighting each other drunk.
There's an episode of the Dr. Phil show, and we won't talk about it, but somebody on this podcast might have secured 2 VIP tickets to a live taping of the Dr. Phil show.
Hell yeah.
So I might be going to go see Dr. Phil fucking live. Let's go.
That's awesome.
What
What does Dr. Phil have to say about that?
What are you doing here, and why are you so terrible? So I was like, yeah, would you be interested in going to the Dr. Phil show? I was like, fuck yes. Are you kidding me? That'd be epic. I gotta like dress up.
Are you sure this is not a setup where you're actually going to be on there and your girlfriend has got like a paternity test or something, you know?
That would be, dude, dude, that's like,
As your attorney, do you need me to go with you?
dude, that would be, if you ever got invited like on Maury
Yeah.
or Jerry Springer and it was like VIP Jerry Springer, you'd be like, what?
Okay, who asked you to do this, by the way? Like,
No, I just know somebody, I got some connections and yeah, somebody might have extra tickets because it's free show. They give away.
No, I
Yeah, and he's from Irving, so they
like Jimmy Kimmel and shit. Like,
yeah, see,
what it is.
that's cooler than Dr. Phil. It's like, do they get to pick episodes? But yeah, they film out here in Dallas. He's from Irving.
No, I know where he's from, bro.
Dude, that's who I should go. I should go with Sticky's dad, and because Sticky's dad knows him and hates him, so he'd be like, "Fuck you, Phil." That would be an epic battle because they're both really tall too. But no, if you ever got invited to like fucking Jerry Springer or Maury, that's like what? Like why? People's Court, okay, like that could be kind of funny, like something like that. But nah, man, like that's like ultimate red flag. Or like if you're on the Steve Wilkos show, like you're coming with me, that'd be like there's nothing that's good. You're not there for a good reason. And I remember back.
Are you sure this is not happening to you?
Yeah,
Like,
no, I'm positive.
And
And because I remember back in the day on Jerry Springer, they'd be like, "Oh, so what do you think you're doing?" You'd be like, "Oh, well, I got invited out, and it's really cool, and she's great.
bus ride to Chicago.
I met this girl. We've been dating for a couple months, and she's wonderful." Right? It was always like people didn't know what they were getting themselves into. Now it's like there's no doubt. R.I.P. Jerry. Shout out to a real one.
That's what you think, dude.
Well, they don't do Jerry anymore.
Like this is like how I always think. Like,
He fixed that part of the world. He fixed that
people
whole
like on
genre.
intervention don't realize they're on intervention now. Like it's happened so many times.
Oh,
right. It's happening to you, dude.
no,
Like,
I don't think.
You've convinced yourself that you're not going to be the subject on Dr. Phil, and you are. You're walking into your own.
No.
You better be ready. You better be ready to go viral. I need you to cash me outside. How about that? If you get one shot, bro. They pull you up on Dr. Phil.
Dude, that'd be epic. Or you
Time
do
to
just
go.
cause. Well, I mean, it's a
Time to go.
It's a taping, so I mean, I was like, or do you just cause a scene on Dr. Phil?
Not a scene. You gotta go viral.
There's been
viral moments.
There's some good ones. Well, he's been lately having like weird TikTokers and shit on, and he's just like, why are you so annoying and tell your family that they're assholes? Like, just says the goofiest shit to these people. And has just people that are obviously making stuff up. Like this one black girl who swears she's white and hates black people. It's the goofiest shit ever. And she's still doing this shtick on TikTok. It's the weirdest shit ever. But he's like, oh, we got to have her on. We got to fix her. We got to save her. So, I mean, I just hope if I do go, I hope it's a good episode. I hope it's not something shitty. I hope it's something good. Maybe like, oh, I'm in love with, Kurt Russell and he's my boyfriend. And they're like, that's a Nigerian scammer. Like, that would be
Are you allowed to like yell things from the audience? Like,
I don't think so. I think you're just allowed to clap on command. That's it.
Like, get her, Phil.
Yeah.
Fuck her, Phil.
Stupid bitch. No, but there's an episode where Dr. Phil had the creator of Bum Fights on. It's epic. It's a very short episode. You should watch it after this. You'll die laughing. But Dr. Phil calls him out, and this guy has cut his hair and dressed up exactly like Dr. Phil. And just sits across from him and stares at him. And they get into an argument. Lasts about maybe 8 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes. And then Phil's like, no, that's it. We're done. Get the fuck out of here. Like, fuck this guy. But it's so funny. Because he's just staring at him.
So is it true? Is it true that same guy who started bum fights is Mr. Beast? Is that true?
No, it's not the same guy. That would be epic, though.
He used to go out on the streets and start bum fights, and now he just goes out and pays people money.
Dude, that was genius. That was like, you know, obviously there's tons of exploitation in that, and like buying homeless people crack and making them fight and giving them money to pull out teeth and all sorts of weird shit. But when you think about what culture consumes now on a day-to-day basis, there was so much forethought in that. That was like genius. That was like,
like there would be no TikTok without bum fights.
yeah, like you could make bum fights, CKY, original Jackass. There's some of those things that are like, oh my god, like those Jackass stunts would have destroyed if they'd never existed. And you started doing that now on a platform like TikTok, the same result it'd be the exact same thing. That was just genius, and it created a whole another genre of that. Those people doing
filming
stupid,
you and your buddies doing things. That is TikTok. That is social media.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, but it was like pranks and pranking people and getting hurt and doing stupid stunts, which is all shit we used to do. It was just like recorded.
I know. Yeah, we did it. Yeah, we would do that too.
Genius. And we would recreate the stupid shit that we saw in those videos. I remember kicking field goals into traffic. That was one of my favorites. You post up and you just kick field goals and you kick a football and it would just like smack the shit out of cars as they drove by. And they'd be like, "What the fuck?" And you're like, "Sorry, dude. We're like kicking footballs."
See, mine was I had a GoPed and we tied a rope to it, and attached to the rope it was actually an inner tube with a rope that was like attached to it. Like that's how it was manufactured. So we attached the rope to the back of the GoPed, and I got in the inner tube on top of a skateboard.
I remember that.
And then we were going so fast I ate shit, but like I got an inner tube around me, so there's no exit from the GoPed, and so I just get dragged by the GoPed until my body weight stopped the GoPed, and then the driver flipped over the handlebars, and we both got all fucked up. And we had the camera with us, but nobody filmed it. It was terrible.
Was that G. Will who was?
No, it was Adam Hansen.
That's right. I was trying to remember.
And he was dating Nanners, and I was dating Chanel at the time. So then we like both like went to his house, and his mom like dressed our wounds, and we hung out with our girlfriends, and like I don't know, it was weird.
I remember that. That was pretty gnarly because you were fucked up, and yeah, I remember Chubbs was pretty fucked up too.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
Don't do that, kids.
Speaking of things not to do, kids, this is an first article of the day. Unaccompanied boy 6 put on the wrong U.S. flight. A 6-year-old boy flew alone to the wrong U.S. city after he was incorrectly boarded on a Spirit Airlines plane. First of all, totally would happen on Spirit. They're just like, yeah, get your little ass on the boat. Get your little ass on it.
Like the flight attendants and stuff, they were like, they were very into their job, and I felt like it was because they were like just up and coming in the game. They were trying to go from Spirit to like JetBlue or something.
Yeah, okay.
Which I think those two are merging, or they were trying to. But you know what I'm saying? So like that they're not like jaded. They haven't been there for a while. So like they were like spitting raps on like go through the manual and stuff.
The seat
like
can be used as a flotation device.
Right.
Check your seat belts once or twice.
Right.
Seat lights on. Sit the fuck down. Boing.
Yeah.
That's a sit down sound. Hey.
Put your mask on before theirs.
Help the kids before you help yourself, or else your soul will be put on a shelf in hell. Are you responsible enough to sit in the exit row?
No.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't understand all this shit talked about Spirit. It's like, to me, it's just another fucking play.
Well, first of all, I mean, not even to make fun of the kid, but you put a little dude named Casper Casper was
Yeah, yeah,
traveling
yeah.
from
You buried the
Philly.
lead. This kid's name's Casper.
Yeah.
What kid named Casper is from Philly?
And you lose your kid named Casper. Where did he go? I don't know, bitch. What'd you name your kid? Some goofy
Did
ass.
he? Maybe he's like the sickest white rapper like in Philly, and they're like, "Yo, this is Casper, homie."
I hope he's black. I just hope Casper's black. That'd be
Well,
tight.
I didn't. It kind of sound. No, it sounded like he was like Mexican because his like grandma's like Ramos.
That's right. But from Philadelphia to meet his grandma in Fort Myers, Florida, but he ended up in Orlando, a 4-hour drive after he was mistakenly put on the wrong plane. Spirit Airlines has apologized and offered to reimburse his grandmother for the drive to pick Casper up. Casper was meant to be traveling from Philly to the Southwest Airport in Fort Myers to meet his grandmother, Maria Ramos. But it seemed reminiscent from Home Alone 2 when Kevin gets on the wrong flight, leaving him stranded far away from his family for Christmas. But nah, bro, like Casper, first of all, it's 160 miles. Kevin's family's like in Europe or some shit, right?
Okay, but it's Florida, dude.
160.
Every
That
square
is a
mile,
dangerous.
yeah, it's a war zone, dude.
Yeah, that is. But he landed in Orlando, which is like the bankrupt capital of the world right now, or has been.
Right. Remember, Florida cares about kids only when they're fetuses. Once they're born,
Well,
you're fucked.
Well, look, this is DeSantis is shipping kids in.
There you go.
He's
And with the grandma with the last name Ramos.
Well, yeah, that's it. It's all, dude. We pieced it together. We just, that's it.
Santos is actually
Santos was
importing
like,
children.
send me my boy, send Casper down here now. Tim Scott running his mouth again. Bring me that Casper motherfucker from Philly. Send him down. Hook him up.
His real name is not Casper. DeSantis just didn't want him to know that he was Mexican, so he's like,
"Nah,
give him the
white.
whitest name possible.
Yeah, he's like, no, you're white. He's like, really? What's my name? He's like, Casper. Yeah, you look just like Devin Sawa in that movie. He's like, really? Yeah, sure, whatever, what the fuck ever, kid. After the plane was supposed to be landed, he was, no, you fucking panicked. I ran inside the plane to the flight attendant and asked, "Where's my grandson?" So they got her on the TV in Fort Myers. No, I had no kids with me. There's no kids on this plane. Bruh, that would be shitty.
I know, and I would think that I can't believe that this was like an article you put in, other than I guess the Home Alone Christmas connection. But I was like, at the end, it was like had 2 examples of this happening, and it was like from 2019. So apparently I thought like this would probably happen like a couple times, 3, 4, 5 times, like a year, at least. And it was like, this has happened. They could come up with only 2 other times in the last like 4 or 5 years.
One guy got sent to Sweden when he sent to Germany instead of Sweden, and there was placed on the wrong continental flights in the U.S. and blamed miscommunication among staff. I think it's more the conversation too. I mean, that's wild, dude.
How many times they fuck up where your luggage is?
Now they're losing kids.
I could see them losing kids. I mean, just seems inevitable.
Did your parents ever just put you on a plane by yourself?
No.
See, we did. My parents did all the time. They'd be like, "Bye, go see grandma, grandpa, peace out," and they just put us on a plane.
Oh, maybe actually, like.
But you could get walked up to the gate. They could walk you up to the gate.
Yeah, no, they did because I went to hockey camp at Michigan Tech, so I had to fly out there. Yeah, my parents didn't go with me.
Yeah, and like your parents could walk you up to the gate, and then whoever was meeting you would meet you the moment you stepped off of the plane.
Yeah.
That was nerve-wracking, is trying to find somebody when you get off the plane if you land before they get there, because then you're just kind of stuck hanging out up by the gate like, yeah, I'm waiting for my family. But yeah, they put my little black ass on planes all the time. They were like, bye, fly out of here.
This one time I was on a plane, and it was like a kid flying next to me by themselves, and they had their backpack open, and it just had like a shit ton of cash in it, and I like was drinking, and I thought like the entire plane I was like, should I grab this, should I not, should I I was like going back and forth. I was like probably like 15 or 16, like trying to come up on some cash on my way to Hawaii,
trying to rob some 8-year-old for his Jackson.
This kid did not need the cash. I don't know why they had cash.
Got V-Bucks.
Well, it was just like they're probably flying by themselves. I don't know, but there was an opportunity.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
But your boy can report I did not take it.
I will say now, while parents have gone to the far extreme in airports, I mean, I get far extreme, but security's pain in the ass, and not being able to go to the gate's annoying. I think if you want to go through security to get to the gate, I think should be able to go to the gate. If you want to walk someone to the gate, walk your elderly grandma through security, you should be allowed to do that. Shouldn't be a fucking problem. I shouldn't need a ticket for that. I think that's dick.
No, well, that was no. I don't know, but because then anybody could get through, and just hang out at the airport. It'd be a problem. I mean, that's what they found out. That's what happened with 9/11. Like they didn't even need tickets. They could just go over there. Like so, then you can't. So you don't know who has the ticket. So you can't be like, oh, this person's on the no-fly list. They can just show up.
Well, there'd have to be some sort of
But
check
so
in.
Whenever I was at PJ's wedding in New Orleans and I missed my flight, and then I had to fly from New Orleans to Fort Lauderdale, and then from there all the way back to LA, because there was no flight, like so I had to go backwards.
Yeah.
But there was an hour layover, and I wanted to get out and go smoke a cigarette, and I went outside, and then I had to go back through TSA to get back on the plane, and like before it left.
Oh yeah, that's
Just
be
to outside
careful
to
with
smoke a
that.
cigarette.
Yeah, be careful with that.
Dude, like that, I was like, dude, if I if I like get stranded in Fort Lauderdale now, like because I went and smoked a cigarette and had to go, like I'd be so fucking pissed.
The Denver airport had a smoke lounge, and it was like you had to get a drink or you had to get something to hang out in there, but just something, and that was like my favorite spot because it was just like and the mountains were right there, but it was just this tiny little box of a room surrounded with glass doors. But I hate flying, so in between flights, if I was ever in Denver, I'd go to the airport early just to sit there and they'd be like, all right, give me a shot. And I'd smoke a cigarette, and then I'd get on the plane. Yeah. And they got rid of it.
Well, it's a fucking room where you're hotboxing cigarettes. Yeah, they should get rid of that. Go outside.
No, man.
Just don't make me go back through security when I come back in.
Yeah, there should be like an exit. There should be a little like mezzanine. Mezzanine.
I've done the opposite of that, where there's this popular spot like club in Santa Monica called the Bungalow, and like the line got super long this one time when I was walking up, and I just skipped the entire line of like over 100 people walked up, and I was like, yeah, I was just in. I just walked outside to smoke a cigarette. She's like, I don't remember you. I'm like, no, I've been in, and I just, I'm not gonna go wait back in line. Like I just smoked a cigarette. She's like, oh, okay. That's what same thing at the airport.
I feel like you can get away with that like once.
I think it's just all about the confidence. Like she doesn't know. I'm saying it very confident, a specific thing. She doesn't want to deal with it. It's better just let me in and keep it moving than it is for the whole.
Like
what you gonna do? Pull up the cameras, like.
See, I used to be a dick in my club. I'd be like, "Fuck you, get back in line."
Well, I'm sure I'll find. No, recently I tried to skip a line, and I was like, yeah, I was just in there, and the guy was like, nah, back in line, and I was like, all right. He's like, good try.
Damn, you got popped.
He knew what I was doing.
But I mean, I don't know how you could. Spirit Airlines losing kids. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Spirit.
That was like a smear article from like American or something.
No, that was from the BBC.
No, I know.
It was international news that they lost a now a 6-year-old kid gets lost on a plane and lands in Orlando, Florida. Right, like I said, they're talking about Ron DeSantis shipping kids out when he brings them in. Front page news too. We got to keep it fair and balanced like Fox. So we got to make sure we give him credit where credit's due. Shout out Ron DeSantis.
I don't think his face is gonna like that.
Bringing in, sent him to Disney World. He was trying to send him to Disney World. Tell him to take down Bob Iger and the rest.
Jesus.
Rudy Giuliani files for bankruptcy a day after a judge orders him to pay $146 million. This is from NPR, KERA, shout out. Held together by support from viewers like you. Former Trump campaign attorney has filed for bankruptcy one day after a federal judge ordered him to immediately pay $150 million to two former Georgia election workers he defamed, which is like a black woman and her mom. No, yes. I'm saying like it's like two black women who were just
Yeah,
working there, and it's like
yeah.
her mom's older. And
Ruby
it's,
Freeman and Shay Moss.
there you go. In Chapter 11 bankruptcy filing submitted Thursday in New York, Giuliani reported millions of dollars in debt from lawsuits, unpaid taxes, outstanding legal fees. The filing follows the judge ruling Wednesday that Giuliani must immediately pay out Wanda Shay Moss and her mother, Ruby Freeman, for spreading baseless claims about their involvement in the fraud. He said he called the jury's defamation award absurd and indicated he thought it would be overturned on appeal. I mean, he's mega broke, man. I mean, I wish, I feel bad. Like, I don't know how much of this do you think they're even going to get?
I think they're gonna get a lot of it, or not 148 million, but they're gonna get a lot. Like he's not broke, and bankruptcy does not like this judgment has nothing to do with bankruptcy. He has to pay this no matter what, if he goes bankrupt or not. So the fact that he did it the next day is whatever, and it's probably just a ploy to whenever they appeal it, to for them to lower the amount. But dude, this guy like. After he was working for the government, he like was like a part of like a huge law firm. Was getting paid a shit ton of money. He was doing speeches. He was like the favorite to be president. Like he was like getting all sorts of like.
Well,
This guy had a shit ton of money.
What happens with all your campaign funds if you don't use them all?
Just depends like where they came from.
That's like
Like a lot of times,
like super PAC money you can just keep, right?
you keep it and then you could like deploy it for other people, or you could, if you're gonna run again, then you could use it later. Like Trump keeps it, like just like uses like all of his travel and everything, like
His legal fees.
Yeah, they're paying his legal fees.
Yeah. He accused Moss and Freeman of toying with ballots at an absentee ballot counting facility in Fulton County. He claimed they were scanning ballots for President Joe Biden multiple times. He has to immediately pay the sum. An 8-person jury awarded last week. A few days before that, the woman sued Giuliani again, asking the courts to permanently ban him from speaking about them. He's stupid.
Yeah, he's an idiot. They found him guilty, and then he just said that, just doubled down on saying that they were, or just defame them again immediately outside of the courthouse.
He's
the exact same thing that
Trump did. Exact same shit that Trump did. It's mind blowing. Typically,
these guys like they just don't believe like that. Like finally, the court system has come down on them, and so like that they like just continue to behave like that.
Typically, those ordered to pay have 30 days before it is enforced. But in a motion filed Monday, the women's lawyers asked that the pause be waived for Giuliani. They argued he may be inclined to use the time to conceal his assets. As the court is aware, defendant Giuliani has already proven himself to be an unwilling and uncooperative litigant, including with respect to this court's orders to pay the attorney fees and costs. Damn. He has recorded all requests for payment without seeking extensions of time to make reimbursement. So he's just been trying to, like, that's what I'm saying. He's not even paying. He's not paying anybody. That's what I'm saying. How much money does he actually have? He's going to have to sell. They're going to liquidate his assets and shit.
Yeah.
That'd be
it's
epic.
not, you can't be just like, well.
Talk about a fall from grace, man. I mean, not that I mean, peak Giuliani was whenever he was still doing fucked up shit, but he was cleaning up New York with all, like, their illegal crime and all, like, the mob bosses and, like, the big crime wave in the 80s and early 90s. Like, he was...
Peak Giuliani was post 9/11. But that's... Where he came up was, when he was the Attorney General of New York.
Yeah, but that's on... I mean, after that, I mean, I guess you could say 9/11's peak Giuliani, but...
He was 100% polling as the #1 frontrunner for the president.
No, I know. I'm not saying...
You know what he did? You know what this idiot did? He didn't campaign in Iowa or New Hampshire. He just went to Florida, and because it was like more diverse or whatever, and had more electors, and that was his campaign strategy. And then so he lost Iowa, New Hampshire, and then like came in third in Florida, and then was done.
Well, no, but just his big claim to fame with put him on the map to become mayor, which is what allowed him to become the front runner, because he was the mayor at the time whenever 9/11 happened. But he gets...
I like mayors that don't let 9/11 happen. I don't understand why you get hyped up because you let a terrorist attack occur in your city. To me, that's like when you get fired.
Yeah, so I mean, and to see what he started out as is going against like organized crime and RICO charges, like going after organized crime, and now like crumbling at the feet of being a part of organized crime himself is
He started
fascinating.
this Rico shit. And
Yeah,
this is the motherfucking thanks he gets.
like it's fascinating. There's gonna be somebody's gonna win an
It's
Oscar.
Shakespearean.
Somebody's gonna win an Oscar playing Giuliani like 20 years from now. This is his whole life. Is his life?
25.
No, I think you gotta give it more time. I think it'll be posthumous. I think he'll be dead, and then they'll make a Giuliani movie.
You think he's got 5 years left? Come on, man. That dude is his liver. He went to the doctor to see what his liver was at, and the doctor was like, "Oh, your liver is fucked."
It's not. It's not there. I don't even. That's not even a thing.
No, there was a guy like in one of these this CBT group that I was in, and he was talking to like the facilitator, and he's like, "Yeah, I went to the doctor, and he was just like saying, actually, my liver and kidneys are actually like looking like pretty normal now." And he goes, "That's crazy because the last time you went, the doctor said that they were fucked." And the guy started laughing so hard, and he was like, "No, seriously, the doctor said that." He was like, "You're fucked, like you're gonna die," and then turned around.
Damn.
There you go.
No, but I mean, there's going to be like he's a historical figure at this point.
I agree.
The
but
documented fall from grace to go from the guy who cleaned up New York in the late '80s or in the '80s and '90s. You know, obviously some fucked up
Bro,
racist.
they did a 5-part documentary series this year on Giuliani on CNN. Like, they're not gonna wait 20 years. Like 20 years from now, people, I don't even know if they'll care that much.
Oh, I think people forget.
He's a goofball,
and they'll be like, "Man, that guy's a fucking."
He's not Kissinger.
Oof.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
No.
Rest in piss, bro. Brother Lynch Hung, let's go.
That's right.
Let's go. But no, yes.
Block.
So I mean, this is like Trump and Alex Jones esque, because Alex Jones ordered to pay a shit ton of money, files for bankruptcy. They're like, "Motherfucker, you got money. You're selling your fucking ginseng root dick pills on your show. We know you're making money." And he's just like, deny. And then they finally lowered it. So they're going to lower his.
It doesn't, see, there's no reason to lower it. And they're not going to lower his. Because they actually gave him less than what the person was recommending that they give him on that. And then the punitive damages generally have to be like within like 3 to 5 times of what the other damages were. And this was like right in there. So like there's not very much room to go here. And the point of it being so high is that so people don't do this again. And like
there's no cap in this state where it's like, oh, you're rewarded.
No cap, baby. No, upon thy head lied no bonnet, bitch.
Well, that sucks.
There's no cap, but there's like a standard, a parameter, and it's usually the punitive damages. I heard were like anywhere from 3 to 5 times what the other with the I forget what the term is for the initial damages that were paid out. So they got paid like 17 mil each, and then they got paid 70 mil or something on top of that, or like, yeah.
Dang, bro, Giuliani's about to hand all of his money over to 2 black women he slandered.
Yeah.
But this is like out of all of them, this is probably the most crippling defeat out of all of them, right? He's still got more down the pipeline. He's still got the Dominion, Smartmatic.
No, he's in the RICO case. He's gonna go to prison.
No, I know, but this is
5-year minimum sentence.
But this is all his money. Now he so like
all of it.
Like all of his money is like gone. So even
I mean Trump was holding a dinner $100,000 a plate for Giuliani's legal expenses just like 4 months ago before this trial got going. Like, so no, the dude is legit broke, but like that doesn't mean he doesn't have like a $5 million house in New York, you know. And so,
he's probably got money offshore too.
Oh, of course he does, dude. You know, think about the people he's running with ever since 9/11. Like, you know,
he owns like a LLC, and where is it? Like New Hampshire or something like that.
Right. I mean, what Trump knows how to get money, you know, and weird. You know, I'm sure he's got an account at Deutsche Bank. Let's just say that.
Yeah, probably. He'd be probably better at hiding his money than Trump too.
Mm. He's sloppy. He's a sloppy drunk, bro.
Sloppy drunk, but I mean, no, I.
He's slipping. He's whipping his dick out on a Bo Rat movie. Like he's not like
Bro,
he's not.
how great did that age? That it's like, oh no, dude, he was totally about to take his dick out. Like, don't doubt. Like when he's like, no, or oh, and this, and it was like, oh, well, maybe it was like kind of a. And now it's like, oh no, that dude's a total creeper,
Yeah,
and was totally about to whip his dick out.
I know. I've been thinking about this. It's like all these fucking idiots on the right who do like all this illegal shit, and we all have to be like, well, like was he actually like accused like this like Trump in the insurrection? Was he like did they was he a part of the insurrection? He hasn't been convicted of it, and it's like we all know that like why do we all have to like we all know that he did that? It's like we all know that Giuliani whipped his dick out like just because he's saying I don't know, it's like we all like kind of like we're not a jury, we're not like like we're humans, like we witness these things, we don't have to like prove it beyond a reasonable doubt, like we could just know that things happen regardless of they've been convicted or not,
Yeah,
or if people admit to it.
dick flopper, head sweat, melting fucking Giuliani files for bankruptcy. Next article from the LA Times. After years long fight, ex sheriff agrees to comply with subpoenas, testify on deputy gangs. Alex Villanueva, the LA County Sheriff, has reversed course and agreed to appear in front of a civilian oversight commission. He's very willing to testify in January, and he will answer any questions you have under oath. So this is something that's been going on where we hear about these LA cop gangs, um,
So these are gangs of
police
police officers
officers
within the department. Yeah.
that go out and do all sorts. I mean, you would know more about it than I would, but like
I mean, yeah, like
what's the local lore on this shit?
I mean, I don't know that much about it. I mean, I do know that it is real. They do exist. And
Kurt,
so, yeah, they're just cops that behave as though they're in a gang or because they are in a gang.
yeah, it seems the COC is only interested in subpoenas when my name is on the ballot, and they want to influence the outcome of the race I'm in. He wrote in an email to the Times, "I'll be more than happy to expose the false narrative of deputy gangs as a private citizen," because I guess he's running for office.
Is he running for sheriff? Is
Reiterated
this the sheriff you're talking about?
Yeah, the sheriff.
Yeah, you have to run for that. Like, you have to get elected.
Earlier this year, the Commission's special counsel issued a 70-page report condemning the cancer of violent deputy gangs and urging Sheriff Robert Luna to create a stronger policy banning secretive groups. And that's something where there's like cops running around with tattoos that all match, have like gang style tattoos, shaking down drug dealers, raiding drug houses, taking their monies and shit. Honestly, it's some like training day shit.
Yeah, to me, it only makes sense. It's the natural evolution of like that people are going to infiltrate the police department and, for nefarious purposes.
Oh
And then
yeah.
also when you think about like, or you might not even like set out to do that, but like you're an LA police officer and like you're like maybe working undercover or like raiding shit and like doing like crazy fucking shit and you're like, wait a second, like why aren't we like coming up on this, like this
But
is
these
like
are just like cops, like beat cops. These are just like
that's what I'm
all
saying,
types of
like you
cops.
see the opportunities that are in front of you also with the risk that you're putting yourself at, and I mean I could see like you making like a compromise morally.
Yeah, but I mean, there's talks of people who are going to testify, speak out against, go missing, murdered, people being killed by these cops. Um, yeah, it should be interesting. They've been calling for this guy for years to come
It's
testify.
surprising because the LAPD's like they've like been white shoe, just ship shape, tip top, like
Oh yeah,
buttoned up,
for
like
for decades
Texas
now.
LAPD, dude.
Inclusive, not a,
Fucking shining example, on the hill
I
of
mean,
like,
they haven't. Nobody in the LAPD has said the N word in like 60 years, and that's just a fact. Everyone knows that.
no man, LAPD is notoriously like, yeah, corrupt and fucked.
Is that like one of the last police departments you'd want to get arrested by?
No, because I got the complexion for the protection.
Well, for me, probably.
Yeah,
That would suck. September, an appeals court agreed this month. Lawyers for the county embarked on a two-step process by asking for a hearing so the judge could decide whether to order Villanueva and Murakami to comply with the subpoena. So they're all like, and that's what's goofy. It's the same thing with our elected officials when it comes to subpoenas. They're just like, nah, fuck you.
that's a
Fuck.
new thing, but they've been throwing people in jail for that. So
Well, not any of these LA cops, these LA County cops, do like whatever the fuck they want, from what it sounds like.
yeah, I mean, LA's like city is like the way the structure. It's kind of weird, like where there's like the commission, and then there's the council, and then there's the mayor, and like the mayor can't really do anything without the commission, and then there's like the police department. So
They're
there's
gonna
like
go
a lot of like politics and power
send
players.
send it send his homies to go arrest him. In one of those cases, Los Angeles Superior County Court Judge Elaine Liu scheduled a contempt hearing for last year, but called it off after Villanueva's lawyers asked a higher court to step in. Like that's wild.
Yeah,
Make them not make us do it.
that's like when in Training Day when he goes to the three wise men and gets the warrant. It's like the older guys like at the restaurant.
Yeah,
Yeah, it gets them to sign off, and then he puts like the cash like in their trunk.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like appreciate you.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. Previously, the former undersheriff has cited a medical condition as his reason for refusing to testify. I mean, I'm interested to see what comes out of that. I don't know if we'll ever really know what the fuck goes on. I mean, these guys are all going to
course.
protect themselves.
Yeah. Like it's always cover up shit like with cops. It's like always like protect the blue or the the shield or whatever. And it's like, no, that's the whole reason why there's shitty cops, because y'all don't fucking like call them out when there's a shitty cop. You guys are like, oh, but like, no matter what, don't say anything, like we didn't admit to anything wrong. And so then you end up like in this like cesspool of fuckery.
So, I was having a conversation with someone. I don't know if you remember, but there was a guy named Christopher Jorner who was an LA cop, got fired because he reported some sketchy shit. And then this is the guy who went on some crazy gun rampage.
Yeah, I remember.
And then got burned alive in some cabin.
Yeah,
That they set ablaze.
that was out here in California, right?
And yeah, that was and the audio on that's wild because they have like the radio chat and they're like, light that motherfucker up, like, but that's his. I mean, I didn't read all of it, but he had some manifesto about why he was going around shooting LAPD cops, and it was all about this crazy corrupt system and these gangs and how it's like super fucked up. But he's like, nah, these are fucked up cops, and that's why he kind of went. He's also a little crazy, but that's why he went on his crazy rampage. Well, I was talking to somebody and they were telling me how where they lived in California, where they lived in California, he was a regular at the bar that he used to go to, and he'd always sit at the bar top and get drinks after whatever he was doing. And he's like I've had like multiple conversations with that guy before, and it was wild when that was going on because we were watching it on the news. And we were like, holy shit. He's like, but all he would talk about when he was in the bar was these super fucked up cops doing all this crazy shit and how he needs to do something about it. And one of these days, everyone's going to find out what's going on. And what's wild is nobody really knows why that guy did that shit in the first place, because they didn't take him alive. They had him cornered up in that cabin, and they set it on fire. And what's even wilder is while they were looking for him, there was a mom and like a daughter who were driving, and they thought it was his truck, and these cops just laid bullets into this car full of innocent people. I think everyone survived, but like unloaded on this car, like on first sight, like didn't even.
That's what these cops do. Like it's not it's unload the clip, no matter what. It's like that's why it's like there's kids out here getting shot like 35 fucking times, like unarmed. It's ridiculous.
And I remember when I was a kid, and there was some. There was a kid when I was a kid. There was a child who like was playing with the toy gun, got shot by a cop because he was playing with the toy gun, and it was like the biggest story. And it's like that shit happens all the time. No.
I was running from cops. Never did it ever even cross my mind that they would think to shoot
Oh,
me.
dude, there's shit that we did back in the day that somebody would have shot at us. 100%. Somebody now in
Yeah,
today's world, somebody would have shot at us.
for
No
sure.
doubt about it. And the
For
cops have been like, "Well, what were you doing? Is that
Oh yeah.
you out there with the double ply Charmin in his trees? Because
Is that me?
listen here, you black son of a bitch." We're like, "Oh Jesus." The school SRO teacher. You need to be in class. Well, that's a little harsh there, buddy. But come on, chill out, Mario. But yeah, I mean, this isn't shocking. It's shocking that he's going to go testify. He's obviously going to lie. He's obviously not going to say what the fuck's going on. If he plans on trying to get reelected, be around these people, if he's actually going to tell the truth, he might not even make it, man. Like, this has been going on for so long, and it's every once in a while you hear something about it. I've been watching like city hall meetings where these people that like it is people from all walks of life being like, "What the fuck are the cops doing?" Like hundreds of people in a hall just barking and barking, and they don't do. And it's at the end of the day, nothing really comes from it because some chuckle fuck like this guy is gonna go up there and be like, "Well, no, we don't know what you're talking about, and everybody's good. This is all false narrative." Someone says false narrative, I think it's probably true. That's how you're going to dispute it. That's a false narrative. If someone says that to me in a day-to-day conversation, that guy's fucking guilty. I don't care what it is.
I don't know, because like I feel like the Republicans are painting false narratives constantly, and if that needs to get pointed out, then
I'm talking about if I'm like, "Hey man, the neighbor told me that you got caught, that you caught you pissing on their car," and you were like, "No, that's a false narrative." I'd be like, "Fuck you, dude. You pissed."
okay, yeah.
That's
But
what I'm saying.
yeah. I mean,
Everyday use, like if someone talked like
listen to
that.
this. Yeah, I listen to this podcast and that covers the media, but they do they've been doing like words that are only used in media. Like that you've never hear like somebody say, like he's carrying like a cudgel with them. You know, it's like only something you would see in print or like on the news. You know,
I gotta
false
get,
narrative on the news.
I gotta give a shout out, Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz.
Why are we shouting out?
He did a really bad video. This was forever ago. I mean, I think we talked about it whenever he was running, and it was how things are so expensive, and he went and bought some
Coup d'etat.
yeah, and now I use that all the time. I love that word.
Coup d'etat.
Yeah, I just use it just to sound like a pretentious dick.
No cap.
Yeah, no bonnet. Upon thy
On
Lord.
God. On God.
Upon thy Lord, on strength.
On cauliflower.
On the strength, bro. On the strength. On
On
strength.
Hidden Valley. Rain stressing.
Yeah.
Coup d'etat.
But like, shout out Dr. Oz for teaching me that word. Of all
Lost
the
him
things.
an election.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I made him look like a schmuck.
To a guy that was incapacitated due to a stroke. Oz couldn't even beat that guy.
Who they literally had to be like, "Look, dude, you need to put on some fucking clothes when you come to work." Like,
And he said no.
like, we get it. We get it. Come on, dude. You're wearing a big dog T-shirt and some and one basketball shorts.
Because I'm a big dog.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
big
surprised
dog.
you're wearing that big dog shirt. That's really old. That's probably a collector's item. You should like put that away.
Dude, don't hate on Fetterman, man.
No, I'm not. But I'm just saying, I can hate on his outfit and his attire. I mean, come on. You can be like, I'm just saying, if they're
Why? You're just worried because like he's ready to go pick up. He's gonna take your ass to the hoop.
he's probably good in the low post. Mark
Oh,
a
for
lot.
sure, dude.
He's
Dude,
got
boxing people.
some big
Jokic.
lurch moves, dude. Just out
Dude,
there, dude.
catch a bow.
Oh, dude, it's like Arvidas Sabonis out there, dude.
Dude.
But I mean, we'll see what happens. So a years long fight. He's gonna comply with subpoenas, testify on deputy gangs. We'll fucking see. He's just gonna sit there and be like, "Fifth, not true." He's gonna lie his
Yeah,
ass
then
off.
just let it happen. You don't know.
But how could you have faith? That's the whole thing. We're tackling gang criminal activity amongst the LAPD. That's
You know who
been
would
we've
be
been
good? You know who
fighting
would be
that since
perfect?
before I
You know who
went
would be
alive.
perfect for that? Rudy Giuliani.
Ooh. That's it. That's it. That's like his thing. That's like his Snake Plissken, where it's like Escape from L.A., but they put him into
It used to
L.A.
be Escape from New York, and
And
now it's Escape from L.A.
oh, that's the sequel,
I know. I saw
which
it.
is really good. It's actually really bad, but it's really good.
No, it is really good.
But yeah, that'd be it. That's totally what would
There it is, man. That would revive his
you
whole
send
shit.
him in. Look, you do this. We let you off
Break
the
up the
hook.
LAPD gangs.
You help us get
Gang,
Trump.
gang.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm in. This is what I do. You know, we got to get you back to your
Meet us
roots.
at the Four Seasons Landscaping, and let's fucking
It'll
go.
it'll be like the second fight. It's like after Rocky loses to Clubber Lane the first time, then he has to fight Mr. T a second time, and he has to get back to his roots because he forgot who he was, and then he goes and beats him and wins his title back.
There you go, Giuliani. We're rooting for you.
So
man.
Giuliani be Mr. T.
Get back to your anti-corruption, cleaning up the swamp in a big city. It's right here for you, man.
He's just so goofy now. Giuliani's such kind of a buffoon.
He's drunk at all times.
He's such a buffoon. There was one thing that he did where he was doing his live streams, and he had Pornhub pulled up on his computer, where it like switched over to his desktop stream. He was like flipping through his filters, and it was just like Pornhub. I was like,
shut up. There was a guy that was on CNN, and during like a Zoom call, he was jerking off.
yeah, and it was like everyone could see.
Yeah, but he's like still on CNN. It wasn't like he was trying to be perverted. It was just a mishap, and it was bound to happen. During the pandemic on the Zoom. Everybody was new to it.
Yeah, I mean,
Jerking off during a meeting.
yeah, he was off the air for a while though.
They like suspended him, and then realized like, well, he didn't really like do anything.
Imagine getting sued because you fired a guy for jerking on camera and you legally couldn't fire him.
Well, no, he was also like he's like a author who's been around for a long ass time. So
I know. I'm just saying. Imagine being like, oh dang, and then like being brought back as like the jerk off guy. It's good to have you back, and we can just bump.
give me a hand.
We can just bump elbows. Like we don't need to touch hands ever again. Don't put your
Okay, everybody jerks off.
don't put your hands in my chips. Nah, you'd have to
I
get some.
I think that was the meeting. It was like, oh, we all jerk off. Okay, we're done.
Everybody just jerk off right now. Jerk it if you got it on Zoom all at once. We'll get this out of the way. Make them feel more comfortable. Welcome back to the team.
Jerk it if you got it.
Yeah, jerk it if you got it. Do whatever you got to do. Make it happen, Captain. Welcome back. And he's like, thanks, you guys. This means we thought you'd be more comfortable if you got to watch us do it. Last article: blood, guns, and broken scooters inside the chaotic rise and fall of Bird. I fucking loved Bird scooters, not to ride them, but to like fuck with them. And I used to follow this really good Instagram account that it got shut down. Bird like hunted them down, but it was called Bird Graveyard, and it was this guy who just went around and destroyed Bird scooters in the most fantastic ways possible. And then it got like literally got banned and shut down, but it had like 200,000 followers. There was a Vice article about it. It's like, who the fuck is this guy? But yeah, they went bankrupt. So Bird was once valued at $2 billion. Now it's filed for bankruptcy. The untold story of the contractors who risked it all to make micro mobility a reality. So this guy's in a minivan. John is chasing one of his 250 electric scooters down the California highway. Finds it 10 miles away. This guy's just tracking his fucking scooters because people just jack them. And his job is dictated by him running around in a van and retrieving his fucking scooters 24/7.
The guy that owns Bird.
No, one of so there's contractors. So there's like fleet.
That's
fleet
job.
managers. Yeah. So he has 250 scooters. That's his fleet. And it's his job to manage this fleet.
So he's like a modern day cowboy, and you have like a group of cattle, a herd, as they call it in Texas.
Yeah, he finds it 10.
And you have to keep them. You have to let them out to graze and then bring them back in.
Yeah, he finds it 10 miles away, hiding in a bush, running dumb tactic that he says thieves use to test whether someone will come after them or if they can take the scooter home. John, not his real name because he gave a fake alias, always gives chase because his livelihood depends on it. If I come in too soft, then they say, oh, this guy's a pussy. I could kick his ass. So I have to be a little aggressive, says John, who is well past the age where it's safe to fist fight. He spends the next hour hunting down other scooters from his fleet that have
Didn't know it
been.
was safe to fist fight ever, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild when to think about that they've gone fucking bankrupt.
I mean, it's not that wild. Like, they
Uh,
probably just. I mean, the whole thing is a fucking mess. It's like a cancer on LA. It's like, it's like people like the emergency rooms are like overfilled with people from scooter injuries. Like that's real. Like they and it's a problem.
oh,
And
I've
then
seen people eat it hard on a scooter.
yeah, like
Mega people that shouldn't be riding
yeah,
them are
they're
always the
everywhere.
ones you see riding them. It's just like I say, the person that's like chasing the bus, like oh fuck I'm late, is never the person that's gonna catch the fucking bus. It's never. It's always
Now your
somebody.
boys caught some buses. Your boys some caught some
Yeah,
buses.
but I'm saying is if you caught the bus, like I'd be like, oh, this guy might catch us. It's always people that should not be chasing a bus are the ones that are chasing the bus. It's always the ones that are riding a scooter or shouldn't have no business. Haven't ridden a scooter or anything. Haven't been on a bike in 20 years. Have two mimosas and they want to hop on a fucking scooter that goes 20 miles an hour and flying around in traffic in like downtown Santa Barbara or Austin. I was living in Austin when the bird scooters it blew up. It was insane. I was like, this is fucking madness. They're everywhere. People are getting hit by cars,
Dude, when
laying
I was
these
doing the
things.
residential therapy, this lady that was there, her son was in Austin for his birthday, and he got into a bird accident, hit his head, uh, went, got up, went home, and then didn't wake up the next morning and was like in a coma. So that shit is real.
That's why they tell you don't go to
I never
sleep.
got on one because of all that shit that I heard when I lived in Santa Monica. Like, every time I walked out of my apartment, like there's like three right there I could jump on. And I was like, nah.
Dang, it's not letting me see the whole fucking article, which is annoying because it did on my laptop. But it started out with like just 10 scooters in California. And then within 9 months, they had $300 million in investments in a $2 billion.
Yeah,
Like,
I just don't think that they're probably the business model's not there. Like it's like probably too much, too hard to maintain, and like for how much money they're getting, and
well,
like
they were leaving them out for like
exactly.
advertising. Anybody can get them, and they're getting stolen. They're having to pay
Yeah, it's a
mechanics.
fucking nightmare.
It sounds like some MLM shit, dude. It sounds like because this guy went from oh I used to just be a mechanic to then I was a fleet manager. But like even now, this motherfucker's running around chasing scooters in a van. He's like,
That's not MLM. That's called getting like moving up in a company. That's like normal shit.
but he says I feel like I was just used to fix scooters. Like I didn't get anything out of this job, and I've worked for them since they
Well, why
started.
would there's nothing to get out there. All they do is give scooters to the public use. Like what is he
I'm
talking about?
I'm I'm feel I feel bad for John, man. He's got to go out there and
Parlay it into like being a
not be a
mechanic
not
for
be a
like something else.
pussy and go. Well, I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
you can't be a.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know how you're gonna what the mechanic qualifications are like. Oh, I used to work on bird scooters. So like, oh, welcome to Audi. Like, I don't think that's happening.
It just depends how you sell it, bro. Don't be a pussy.
I
Ask for that job.
specialize in EV vehicles and e vehicles. You probably could say that's electric,
Yeah,
but
he's a cowboy.
they filed for bankruptcy. There's still some that are like floating around, but it's wild. So they're like Bird started the whole craze of the scooters, and they're out. They bought out their competition, and then they went belly the fuck
Yeah,
up.
it's the second mouse always gets the cheese. You know, it's like you have somebody come. Like think about Apple. They didn't invent like the MP3 player. They just perfected it. They didn't invent the cell phone. Perfected it.
Perfected it. Is the iPhone perfect
It's the number one cell phone
in
on the
the
planet.
U.S.? No, it's not.
Okay, well, you know what I'm saying. It is. How about this?
Makes up less than 30% of the market in phones in the world.
Right, right. It is the cell phone to the top 1% of the world. The top 1 billion people in the world economically have iPhones.
Well, I think I'm up there, and I don't have an iPhone.
I know, but that's
Well, I'm black.
right.
You son of a bitch. Well, I mean, it was just an
I bet
art.
you got T-Mobile. I bet you have T-Mobile too.
Yeah, it just seems like people. I feel bad for people like Bob. I wish this whole article would pull up on my desktop, but it's an Apple. It's an Apple article. I tried to throw some apples in there for you, and then it locks me out on my PC.
I couldn't read them because of it because I don't have the Apple News subscription. So
What? And I'm still stuck renewing it, and you don't even have it anymore. You son of a bitch! I only got it because of you.
I know, but didn't I buy it?
No.
I purchased the Super Producers
Yeah, I
subscription.
think you got his. You said you'd get mine, and I was like, no, I got money. I can pay $10 a month. And now it's
Yeah, I know.
12. Now it's $12.99.
I know. Well, you're welcome. Meditate, bitches.
But I mean, shout out Bird, R.I.P. Because it did bring me some good memories where I did watch some good crashes, like where no one was seriously hurt, but I saw some good, like good crashes. Where I was like, oh, what is this guy doing? There was something about it where you see someone, they're riding around, they're like, oh, they have no idea there's a step there, and they end up being okay. That's great because half of the people that are on these scooters are drunk. So if they're drunk and they're riding around these scooters, they got a good shot at not getting hurt because they're all loosey goosey.
I don't believe that. That whole stupid theory.
About drunk people being more
Yeah.
relaxed in cars so they don't get
Yeah.
hurt. Really? I mean, I feel like that's statistically provable.
It's not.
How do you know?
That's made up bullshit.
You think?
100%.
Why would they make that up? Just to make people
Just
hate.
dumb.
Just to make people hate.
That was like back in
drunk,
the day when they like didn't
hate
even,
drunk drivers more.
Yeah, they're like 5 years ago. Like,
You
could just-
motherfucker!
you could just be wasted and drive. Like,
And you're
it's like,
fine. Look at you. Like, I guess it just like ups the ante a little bit.
yeah. Wrong. That was like during the just say no days. Like, none of that information they told us was right.
No, some of it was right. Like this'll no. This'll fuck
All
you.
wrong.
No, when they told me that
Wrong.
weed would fuck me up, yeah, weed fucked me up. First I was like, hell yeah, this is awesome.
Well, we just find out that a glass of wine is actually not good for you. Surprise! Drinking a glass of alcoholic poison a day isn't good for the body. Turns out, it's like every day we find out what we thought was right is like wrong. Like,
No, but
cold medicine
I'm just
doesn't
saying,
even work.
I'm just saying they were a little spot on in the descriptions on what would happen if you took these drugs. Like it'll make you relax, it'll make you eat a lot of food, and you'll laugh a lot. I was like, okay, like, this sounds kind of fucking
And
tight.
then you'll start doing heroin 3
Yeah,
weeks later.
and it's a gateway drug, which is the stupidest shit ever. There's people who are like, nah, I only smoke rock. I don't like weed. It makes me paranoid. You're like, what? Like that?
Well, just making weed illegal is why it's a gateway. It's because then you're hanging out with people who also sell other shit. But if I could just go buy it at the dispensary, I'm not hanging out with the coke dealer.
Yeah, that's true. No one wants to hang out with the coke dealer.
No, coke dealer doesn't want to hang out with you either.
Yeah, he doesn't. Unless he's just like, I gotta drive.
Keep it
drive.
moving.
I gotta drive. I got deliveries to make. You're like, oh, you're stressing me out, dude. You end every night at Arby's? Oh, yeah, man. You want some weed? Gross. Get the fuck out of my car. Well, what do you got? What do you got for us? Anything insightful?
Nah, just a Merry motherfucking Christmas.
Yeah, this is the day after.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, man. Gotta go back to the Roblox server tomorrow. But yeah, you had a good Christmas. Family was good.
All good, baby.
Get anything good?
Money.
Let's go.
Let's
Any gambling stories? Have you gambled since or no?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I did go. I like had taken an edible and it was like hit me really hard. It was like this drink, and I wasn't sure if like it was the end of the night and like or it was like 11:45. So I went. I got there at midnight. I had $50 cash. That's like the minimum you could buy in. So I was like, let me see if what I could do here. I put in 50. Like second hand, I get. I'm in this hand with like these two guys. This one guy's got a ton of chips and like smells like booze. He's sitting right next to me. And this other guy, I flop. I got king 10, flop 3 10s. the two guys checked to me. I bet five, and then the guy right after me just goes like aggressively all in, or no, goes 20, and then I just go, all right, well, I'm gonna go all in, and he aggressively turns over. He has his 3 10s, but like an 8 kicker, and I just flip my hand over, and he just devastated. Um, it's the best when somebody's like trying to be over aggressive, and then they're like don't even have the hand, they're wrong.
Yeah.
So then he goes and he buys in 100 more chips, and like the next hand, I've got King Jack, and he aggressively puts in 20 pre-flop, and then like two people call, and like I'd already put in like five, so I'm like, okay, there's like 80 in the pot already. I'll call with my King Jack, see what happens. Jack comes out on the flop. It's the high card. He goes all in, and I'm like, is this really happening? And I've seen this a lot where people just go on tilt and like just go, lose their mind. And so if you see it happening, you'll want to catch it, because then you just take all their chips. So I'm like, all right, and so I call him, but he had ace jack. I had king jack, so he actually took all of my chips, and I got up and left.
Damn, he got you back.
So if you're gonna do that with someone, it's better to be the second person, because then you end up with the chips. You don't want to be the first person taking chips.
Yeah, damn. Well, I mean, but you're still doing good.
No, I know, the whole thing was so weird. I was it was weird how I just like quickly doubled up, which is like the exact plan. And then this guy's going crazy, and I'm like, I got a jack again. I almost wanted to just fold, like stay away from this hand, because it's just like I don't even know if I want to take his money again. Like he might like beat me up.
Yeah.
This fucking guy with the red sweater just came down and
I'm all in. I'm all in. You're like, yeah, dude, we get it. Chill the fuck out.
Yeah, people do that. Like but you have to be aware of those situations, because those are times to make your money.
Yeah, true. All right, well, 119 in the bags. Oh, another one. Got anything for us?
Meditate, bitches.
All right, yeah, y'all be good. Hopefully, y'all had a good holiday. Be good. We got New Year's coming up, so spend it with people you love. And yeah, just go fuck yourselves.
Shut up.
Recording stopped.